Hi, welcome to a series of videos we're going to do to create an application to store recipes. I'm going to give you a quick overview of what the application looks like when we're done, and then some key terms for PHP commands that we'll be using here that you might not know yet. So first of all, if you're looking on YouTube and you're not from Grand Canyon University, just let you know that we're in the middle of a semester and this is about week 5. So there's a lot of things about PHP that you should know if you're going to be able to do this program properly. First of all, let's look at the application we're going to make. You can see from the URL it's called Recipe Lister, and the first page that I'm using is called Login. So I have a user account and a password, and then I will be able to log into the app. So I have a menu at the top of the screen, a logout, search, and add new recipe. So let's search for any recipes that I've created. I think I've made pizza, so I'm going to search for PIZ. And sure enough, I get one recipe for pizza. Let's see if there's any other recipes out there, like sand. I think I have a sandwich recipe. There's a sandwich. This menu has a logout option, so it logs you out, then forces you to log back in. It also has a add new recipe, so you can put in a recipe title, instructions, and ingredients here and add it to your database. First of all, let me tell you that you don't have to program this entire application. I've got a lot of the code already written for you, and you're going to be able to download it and modify it. Secondly, there are some new terms here that we're going to look at that we haven't seen in our PHP class yet. I'm going to Google and search for something called session variables with PHP and do a search. Usually there are two websites that come up in search results first. PHP.net is the official documentation for the PHP language. It's a great source, it's complete. However, it seems that documentation is rather difficult to read unless you already understand the language. So PHP 5 sessions here on this link at W3 Schools is a better choice for us if we're brand new to this idea. So let's see what a session looks like. So a session is a way to store variables that are used across multiple pages. And in our case, it's going to be the login name and password of a person. So we only ask the password on the login page, and then the program will remember that you've logged in as you go through the rest of the pages. Let's see what a session looks like. So I recommend that you read through this page here, but I want to show you a demo. So here's some code, and that's why W3 Schools is so nice, is you can see how it works. So in their code, they have something over here that is important, session variable called favorite color and favorite animal. And so their favorite color is green and their favorite color or animal is a cat. Then the only message we get to the screen are that the session variables are set. And so somewhere in the computer, in his memory, we have the idea that he knows that green and cat are our favorites. So I'm going to close this tab, scroll down the page, and let's take a look at the next page. So this page here, let's run it, shows that he remembered that green and cat are our favorites. And if you look at the PHP code over here, there's nothing about green and cat. We just have this variable called session. And so that is persistent. It remembers from previous pages what our favorite color and favorite animal are. The way it remembers that is because at the beginning of the program he uses this command called session start. So session start goes to the server and says, hey, what is his favorite color, what's his favorite animal, and we'll be able to use that in the page. Let's scroll down again, and now we have another way to print. So using print R, we're printing the entire session array. And so you can see that it's an array called an associative array. It says favorite color is associated with green, favorite animal is associated with cat. And so that's just another way to print the array. Then finally we have a way to modify. We can come into a program and say favorite color is no longer green, we're changing it to yellow, and then print the session, and so you can see that yellow has now gotten the new value. And then lastly, to destroy a session is when you're done and when you log somebody out. So let's run the example. And it says all sessions are now removed and the session is destroyed. And so we've unset our variables and destroyed the session, so he no longer remembers our favorites. So that's a quick overview of what session variables are, and we'll be using those in our application. Here is another new thing that you'll see in this application. We're going to look at CSS coding, and we're going to use an external style sheet. So most of the time we've been working with styles right in line with our HTML code. This format allows us to take an external file and in one line define it in a HTML code. So let's see what it looks like. We try it ourselves. You can see here that there's a link to an external style sheet called myStyle, and on the right side you see we've got blue text and a blue background, and there's nothing about blue on this page at all. That's because it's referring to this external file, and they show us on the page what the external file would look like. It's just another text file that you use in Eclipse or any kind of a text editor, and you can use it on multiple pages. So that's the advantage of using an external file for CSS. Okay, so let's get started. The next video is going to show you how to download and get this program running, and then we're going to set up a database behind it and then do some programming. So there's a lot ahead of us. Let's get started.